Sexual energy. Let's talk about sexual energy and our creative power as humans and how we start to cultivate our sexual energy, our life force, for the good of ourselves, but also the collective. Hey there, I'm Alex. I'm a nervous system coach. I help you master your energy so you can start actualizing your ideal life. And one of the ways to do that is through our nervous system. It's through nervous system regulation. And it's through the capacity of harnessing our sexual energy. Now, this is quite a journey. I can talk from a male point of view. This is a very powerful journey. It's a journey that we have to go on of initiation, of really mastering our impulses and rewiring the program that we've gone through up to this point, that we've developed through adolescence and then very much into adulthood as well, about really tuning into our sexual energy and our sexual impulses, where we're directing our energy at any given moment. Because our sexual energy and our life force is the creation of everything. It is the creation and birth and power center of everything that we're experiencing in our life, and it's guided by our attention. So our energy, our sexual energy, can be in a state of depletion, and we can be directing it into things to help us with that depletion. But once we start to harness it, once we start to practice it, once we start to utilize nervous system regulation, one thing I discovered, these both come hand in hand. Once we regulate our nervous system through however means, my means has been breath work, to open up the channels of the body, we start to release tension. We start to open up these channels, these energy channels within the body. We start to clear and purify the mind, heart, and body. And we do that through our nervous system. It's such an intimate link between this, about how we are with our nervous system, the status and health of our nervous system, and the energy flow that's going through us, and our capacity to the amount of energy that we can have flowing through us. So when we start to master our impulses, I'm talking to guys now as well, specifically, maybe women as well, definitely, we start to utilize this. We start to see our habits when it comes to our sexuality, how we are during intimacy, how we are when we're making love, how we are with our own habits and behaviors when it comes to self-pleasure, these kind of things, which will massively inhibit our capacity to build sexual energy within us. And we can squander our sexual energy. We can squander it. We could be reckless with it. We can just release, let it go, and it just on a regular basis, which ends up depleting us more and more and more. But coming back to our nervous system, coming back to our channels, when we go on this beautiful journey of regulation with our nervous system, we come into deep energetic resolution, we'll find that we can actually start storing this sexual energy within us whilst having connections with our partner, ourselves on a really deep level. Our habits and behaviors change as well. And when we harness this, the sexual energy within us will be responsible for and will help us manifest miraculous things within our body and our energy. I'm going to go deep into my story a little bit now, just a little bit to touch on it. In my mid-20s, I had severe, I'd say, sexual dysfunction at a really chronic level. Once I start to realize and start to practice sexual energy mastery, sexual energy practices about channeling the sexual energy through my body instead of releasing it, I start to see miraculous things start to heal within my physical, mental, and emotional health. Physical symptoms of sexual dysfunction cleared and completely dissipated. I started to see a purification in my mind. My thoughts started to shift differently. We went from this really intense, constriction inwardly, which was all expressed within my thoughts and my energy, to a release of like a deep sense of relaxation. And now on reflection, I can see that this was the sexual energy and our life force energy working out in me and healing what needed to be healed and resolving my energy body on a really deep, profound level. And it was from that serious amounts of discomfort that I experienced through those like earlier years within my journey, like in my mid-20s, I'm now 41, that opened up the springboards to then this deeper sense of evolution of how to start channeling my sexual energy, how I can start actually cultivating it within me and still not squander it and release it, even when being with a partner where I can channel this sexual energy. But as well as that, life force energy, start to really kind of feel into where to channel it into the world. This is where sex transmutation in Think and Grow Rich really comes to life, my friends. If you haven't read that book, strongly recommend it. Because the energy within us, once we start to learn about focus and direction, and we start to learn about opening up the channels of the body and channeling this energy through our channels of our body, and get a free flow of energy working through us, removing the blockages through breath work's been phenomenal for that for me. We then start to have a finer acuteness of our direction of focus, which then we can start to focus and channel this energy into the world. And I've lived and breathed this, because back in my mid-20s when I was everything was quite falling apart for me. I was in a job that I hated. Oh my God, I don't like it. Everything was like in dysfunctional relationships. Then there's been this fine tuning of focus, unblocking this energy, unblocking my channels, getting a free flow, feeling energy increasing within my being, then channeling it into being creative, starting a YouTube channel, becoming a coach. That was one of the main things I channeled into. I went from a job that I was like, oh God, I don't like this. It's so different. But then I channeled it into, I'm going to be a coach now. Changed my life, man. Like, wow. Like totally took a 180 on my life. Went into a completely different direction. All because I started to focus on my journey of this expression of my life force energy being expressed through what I'm focused on in this given moment. And with our life force and our sexual energy, it's the opening and springboard to deeper degrees of love. We start to realize that, say, our sexual energy and our life force energy is misused and squandered when we are far away from the vibration of love. When we're in the survival paradigm, which is anger, fear, guilt, shame, we end up squandering it with impulses. We don't know where to channel it. We're in a daze, we're in a confusion, and we're trying to, well, maybe not just in a deep state of unconscious living. But the life force energy, once channeled, once opened within our body, it deepens our degree of focus and starts to blossom our heart desires more and more as time goes on. Miraculous things will happen to you once you start to understand your life force within you. Habits will start to be purified. Habits will start to come in line with your future self. I was going to say future self, but your higher self. Not someone who's over there, but right here, right now. The now moment will be transformed profoundly by the discovery of your sexual energy and life force. I'm using those simultaneously because they will land differently for different people. And when I say sexual energy, it's not just about sex. Sexual energy it's like that. It is that life force within us that's miraculous. And we're getting into this deepening and ripening of our connection with the universe, with God, with the divine. Copious amounts of inner space will blossom within you due to this energy working its way within you. Once you start cultivating your life force energy. Miraculous things will happen, my friends. Miraculous things will happen. So feel into it now. And you can really feel into it. You can look into your habits and behaviors now, and you can see where you are squandering your life force energy. And no, there's no shame and condemnation. We come away from shame. We tune into where we are. We tune into knowing what our capacity is right now as humans, and that's infinite. Our infinite, boundless potential is discovered through the mastery of our life force energy. And that life force energy starts to become cultivated, and channels start to become opened, regulated, smooth, free flow, once we understand the depth of our nervous system and how to regulate our nervous system. We heal the past. We start to come away from our past story, which then starts to stimulate a new story within the present, which means that we're then being pulled into a different future timeline. And it all happens from this profound capacity to cultivate our sexual energy, our life force. So I always like to come on here. My intentions as through this YouTube channel is to always be that reminder to you of your capacity of what you have right now. No matter where you are right now, you are on holy ground. The springboard to your next step, your quantum leap, is ready to be taken now. And we're all tripping and falling. We're all fumbling a little bit. We're always feeling at some points that we're in the dark. We don't know what's going on. A little bit confused, a little bit of brain fog, or copious amounts of confusion. Wow, feeling into that for my own journey. But knowing, there's always this knowing for me, like there's just this knowing, man, that there's a direction that I'm being pulled, like we're being pulled into a new timeline that's in very profoundly individual, but even more profoundly collective. And it's the roots of this is the harnessing of our life force energy. So my friends, feel into this now, feel into my words, feel into your opportunity, feel into the fantastic opportunity that you have right now to start making these discoveries in your spiritual journey. Start to feel into your nervous system, start to feel into your energy. Start to shower yourself with love and appreciation in this now moment, knowing your boundless potential. Sending you so much love. Sending you so much love. I already can't wait for the next video to see you again there. Much love, my friends. This is Alex signing out, and I'll see you all in the next video.